Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to episode 84 of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, Executive Editor of Total Retail. Today I'm joined by Erick Roesch, Director of Business Intelligence at Rue La La, an off-price online style destination for the next generation shopper. We're going to be discussing how Rue La La is using a data warehousing solution as part of its efforts to improve the shopping experience for its customers. Thanks for joining me today, Erick.
Thank you, Joe, very much for having me as well. Thank you.
So let's first talk a little bit about how Rue La La is using data warehousing in the cloud. Maybe why you decided to move your data warehousing to the cloud, and so start there.
Absolutely, yeah. So first, I'll give an overview of what we are supporting. There's really three prongs internally, and that is that we have operational reporting, which is really close to live data that we bring from different production systems, and that helps run the business. So it really helps an operational staff understand what's going on with the site, with our members, et cetera, right now. The next layer of reporting is really navigating the business. This is really helping our analytics teams, which are embedded in different business functions, marketing, planning, et cetera, really understand where the business is going and how to help navigate the business forward. And if I think to the highest level from an executive perspective, our data warehousing efforts are really strategically to help drive the business based on facts, not on gut. This is really giving us a competitive edge in terms of pivoting the business and really organically growing the business. Let me answer why Snowflake and cloud computing is really pivotal or instrumental to this goal, and that's because with our traditional data warehousing, we really had fixed capacity and those constraints. With Snowflake in particular in the cloud, we can really size our efforts to what the needs are and what our budget is, and much more dynamically grow our capabilities as the opportunities arise.
Maybe you could to kind of present a little bit of a clearer picture on that. You mentioned a three-pronged aspect to the data that you're storing. Maybe an example or two of each piece of data within those three prongs would be helpful.
Yes, certainly. So, from running the business perspective, we have as we're selling off-price merchandise, that merchandise dynamically changes almost on a daily basis within our site. So our merchant staff is really looking to understand what products are selling and what are not selling, so that they can not only understand what our customers are interested in, but really help them in the planning for the next events and next purchases that they're going to make. So those are very detailed reports that we service out of our Snowflake data warehouse. Navigating the business, our marketing analytics team, for example, is really understanding our members from who's activating and what strategies we might be able to take to increase activation rates. So really understanding a lot about our member base.
And then You talked about the move to the cloud and working with Snowflake, but prior to storing data in the cloud, how was Rue La La handling this data warehousing efforts and integrating customer data? And the second part to that question is, what are some of the challenges that that old approach presented for the company?
Certainly. So what we started with several years ago is a traditional on-premises data warehouse that was connected and is still connected to all of our transactional systems. So what that's allowed us to do is really understand what orders a member has placed, what products and the characteristics of those products are for sale, and when they were for sale, et cetera. So all, you can think of it as all the transactional, well-structured data. What we had in a separate platform, if you believe in the data lakes and the variety and velocity of the non-traditional data sets, we had captured our clickstream activity from the website, our mobile app, et cetera, and stored that in an unstructured data lake format. We also captured email activity, and there's a lot of variety with regard to the types of emails we send and the clicks that come from that. Two disparate islands, if you will, silos of data. And what was difficult about that solution was we really had no complete picture of a customer. So we understood what their purchases were, but we didn't understand, did they even come to the site and where were they shopping on the site, et cetera. So, we had disconnected funnels, if you will, from the kind of the retail model of who's logged into the site, who's shopping, who's viewing products, who's adding to cart, who's ultimately checking out. So the challenge were really that we had no 360 view of a customer, if you will.
No, I was going to say, would that present then? I would imagine that would present a lot of, one-time customers coming to the site, maybe making a purchase, but then you have no way to kind of track that purchase back to that customer or other ways that you're able to communicate with that customer. So you're not seeing that long-term customer value, I would imagine.
Exactly. So we just couldn't connect the dots, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Another facet of our challenges were the traditional approach was not in one location, as I mentioned, but the timing was also not appropriate. We were often waiting a day for some of that data to become available. The data lake solution that we had in place was the raw data, so it wasn't in the right format. So any analysis required an extensive amount of effort to kind of prepare and cleanse and conform that data. And there was just data we were missing. So the existing solution that predated our Snowflake investment was really not helping those internal business needs that I mentioned, nor was it helping our customer. And I should mention what we've really done to pivot to engaging the customer better now that we have it all in one place.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the customer experience. So let's talk about, well, maybe another two-part question here is, one, when did you kind of make the decision, okay, we want to make the switch and move this data to the cloud? And then two, what are the benefits that you're looking to achieve from that decision and having this integrated data in the cloud?
Yes. So we made the journey started, I would say, Q1 of last year, of 2016. And within 6 months, we had effectively replaced and or complemented those two solutions that I had mentioned previously, and have now all facets of a customer in one place. What are some of the benefits? If I can talk a little bit about the data first, is the data is all in one place now. So we have. And we're continuing to add to that one place. It's in the right format for analysis. So we are investing the time to take it out of the unstructured formats and actually connect it to our members so that we can make those connections between activity on site and orders that are placed, et cetera. And we're also increasing the velocity or lowering the latency, if you will, of when the data comes in. So we're bringing the data in at the right time. So no longer are we having to wait a day for the data to be available. With Snowflake, we're able to rapidly ingest the data, in some cases 15 minutes after the activity has occurred on the production site. And what this is allowing our analytics team to do is be much more adept at analyzing the data, because they aren't spending 80% of their time preparing it. They're spending most of their time now, being able to see insights that they had never been able to connect before and do. They're also able to execute their analyses in some cases an order of magnitude or more faster because of the speed with which our new Snowflake platform is able to respond to their ad hoc queries.
Yeah, and I was going to say that especially in the world of e-commerce, that where the speed is paramount, that it probably has been a big difference for Rula.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you kind of alluded to it in a previous answer, but let's talk a little bit about how this integrated data warehousing approach will improve the experience for your customers. So we've talked a lot about internally what it means for Rula, but let's talk about customers that are coming to the site.
Yes, that's a great question, and that's actually what we're most excited about. When I think about helping drive the business, it's all about the customer, and we want to make this our website, our mobile app, to be the most engaging, personalized shopping experience for our members. Previous to the efforts that we've just started, it was the same experience for all of our members, so not personalized. And so now that we have so much more information about our customer, we have several initiatives underway and some in production that I'd love to share. One is that we are now sending personalized emails. So based on the members' interest and inferences with regard to their preferences for brands, et cetera, that we can see from all their click activity, we're able to send now personalized emails to each member every day because that's our way to communicate since we're an online presence only. So we're now sorting the brands based on the members' interests. Other things we're doing is we have selective targeted emails based on a member's engagement, and what we're able to do is see what brands they might be most interested in, send them a targeted email if we have that brand for sale, and invite them into a personalized boutique on the website that's really tailored to what they've demonstrated as their interests based on past activity. So we're really now achieving the goal of a personalized shopping experience for our members, which we're really excited about.
And that personalized experience, I'm guessing, is leading to higher conversion rates, higher average order values, higher repeat purchase rate. Are those the types of benefits that you're seeing from being able to personalize that experience?
Absolutely. So it's a win for both sides, right? So the customer is happy, and we're understanding and seeing the benefits to the customer by virtue of the fact that they're opening more of the emails that we're sending. They are spending more time on site, and so then ultimately they're making more purchases. And so I don't have the statistics, but absolutely we're seeing a lift on all measures that we are measuring.
Cool. And then my final question, Eric, is, having gone through this process of moving your data from an in-house solution to the cloud, can you talk about any advice you might have for other retailers that are looking to make a similar move and integrating their sort of next-gen data warehousing solution into their business?
Yes, I would love to. I would start with this principle that I've introduced here, which I call it the data network effect. So I think we're familiar with the network effect. And what I mean by that is that what we have found is that the value of our overall solution and to the business and to our customer increases with the number of data points, if you will, that we have. We're bringing in our customer service information, our call center contacts, and bringing all data together into one place. And it's all connected now and in the right format, et cetera. And I would encourage other retailers to not think of just one facet of the data, but really try to think about bringing in all the data. With that, data lakes are wonderful from the standpoint of easy ingestion of data, but data that you really know you're going to use, invest the time to distill it and connect it to your members appropriately. A lot of times we have information that's not easy at the onset. So invest in the technologies to really perfect that knowledge. What I'd like to say about Snowflake is that it is a game changer. It has radically changed our ability to do these types of activities. The time, complexity, and cost we've seen an order of magnitude decrease in terms of bringing in these data sets. So, picking the right technology and investing in it is going to have dividends that are going to continue to pay out. We don't necessarily need a business case for a data set if we know it's going to be useful. And then once we have it, we find uses for that data. And that's what's really transformative.
Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Erick Roesch of Rue La La for joining me today. Please check out our podcast channel page, mytotalretail.com/podcast for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. But make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. Lastly, please follow us on Twitter at MyTotalRetail or on Facebook at facebook.com/MyTotalRetail. Thanks, and I look forward to you joining us on the next episode of Total Retail Talks.